Hello and welcome back. Just doing my normal sorting in the beginning. Today is a reviewer redeem day. Crazy redeemed the Diamond Dot stream, so that's what we'll be doing today. So I opted for, since it's like a fishy water scene, I opted for non-headbanging music. Although I have a feeling I might get sleepy halfway through. Oh, that's what I meant to check. Too many things trying to remember today. Okay. I did order the thing, like holder, for the double monitors, so I just need to now get another monitor, which won't, probably the next week or so. But this way I have it when I get it, so. We are almost done sorting this bag. This bag was like bulging when I first started sorting it. Now this is all we have left. So. I don't know. I had a drawer where it was just like things that were printed or had stickers on them. That way it would kind of be easier to find them. So when I went back to, certain things, but I'm realizing I probably didn't do that on a fair amount of things. Like this one has a design and these are eyeballs. And I just put them with the regular. And that's, so I don't know. I don't know. I guarantee there's things mixed in, so who knows? How is your day at work going, Crazy? Boy Wonder has been assigned a teacher and an advisor, so that is good. Now, just waiting for an email and a phone call from somebody. Beto. Oh. Mine did that, has been doing that. I'm watching that Oh It's Neb to try to get the drops, which I can switch it from Makers and Crafters to drops if we want. And I'll like check on it and it'll have frozen. So I don't know. Maybe it's Twitch being twitchy. I shouldn't say maybe. It is obviously Twitch being twitchy, but you know what I mean. Ooh, you're printed. Well, I don't know if it's the same way on Oh It's Nebs because I have the volume always turned off because I'm not really there for that, and there's not any sound really, but I have it on mute, so when the commercials come on, I don't hear them. But it is weird. Yeah, like I said, I don't have the sound turned up on that because there's no sound really for their broadcast, and I don't want to listen to the commercials, so I have it muted or like down to 1 or 2%. So I don't know. I'm guessing, what is it? Closed captioning does not like Oh It's Nebs. It gets everything else. Guesses everything else. When that's not what I'm saying. That's not surprising. Okay, I have a little piece of skin here, and it's driving me bananas. There we go. It's a hoot dog. Hoot dog, hoot dog. Oh, okay. I'll buy it. I'm down. I think we're out of whiskey, but we have tequila. Well, we might have Irish whiskey. Okay, let's see. There's only one of you. Now I gotta find the bin. My drawer of Technic pieces. Well, Technic connectors. I'm not even sure if this drawer can hold this many dots. Let's do this. Since I don't have that many of those right now. Look at all those 1 dots. Well, I guess not dots, because they're not round, but squares. Just the 1 by 1s. There's a ton of them. In all different colors. Let me put these back in here, since I switched them. because I don't have that many of that kind yet. I'm probably going to have to do it with these squares and the dots soon. Yeah, because they're pretty full. And then these are all dots. All different colors. I put these in for you. Oh, I guess I did put the handcuffs in there. I guess I can put the little gun type ones in there too. Nope, there's a hot dog I missed, but not you. Plants. Push some of those back in the tray. I just saw these earlier. Nope. There we go. This said it was copyright free, so hopefully it is and I don't get in trouble. Okay. Let's see. I have, let's get my diamond dot stuff out. I have the brick tax handy for if anybody redeems that. And we're going to continue working on this big. I haven't been really working on it much. So there's not really any more done than there was last time when I worked on my stream last week. But that's okay. I need to decide what I'm going to work on next week. I have the pirate ship and like the pirate hangout, or I have those two campground sets, or I have some flower stuff. Plus tomorrow is the 1st and I'm ordering stuff from Lego then. So we shall see. Did we want to start Stream Raiders or should we wait for a few more people? I guess we can see where we're at. Okay, it's a level 5 though, so you have to be prepared that we might die because not enough people come in. Stop trying to encourage me to shop at Target, phone. It says I need to put rogues out, so a rogue it is. This is the only reference we actually don't recommend. Usually you really want to ruin your day. Just watch Totoro instead. I don't know. So there's a chance of gold drops and rare scrolls, uncommon scrolls, gold. It doesn't say like more will appear as it progresses. Hello, Scotty Rotten. How are you today? So it looks like 5, 10, 13. Because I don't see anywhere else. But maybe it's the type that they are. Because these sniper dolls, maybe they cause a lot of damage or whatever. Well, good morning. Coffee is the life force. We need the coffees. Oh, there it is. I could feel it race, not even with the rest. Okay. Off we go. I don't think I can like zoom in or anything. I can try like, I worry about the two lights hitting each other and then causing like a glare that you can see in the cameras or on screen. So I don't want to pull the top one down too far. Ooh, fancy. If the music is too loud, let me know. Different, because this is a different YouTube video than the other music I listen to, and everything's a little different. So I just want to make sure it isn't too loud. Sorry, I'm like stalking my phone for in case the new school messages me. And if they call, I'll have to put you guys on like a hello, Kevin. I didn't hear your Kevin. There it is. Okay.
Alright, you guys, this video is for my wife. I figured I'd tell her on here.
Oi. But yeah, if the new school calls, I'll have to put you guys on like mute and take the call, because he starts Monday and I'm supposed to get a call from like the regional coordinator or whatever to make sure that he has everything he needs before he starts on Monday. Stream Raiders has started if you want to join in on that. And they don't give you like a heads up like, hey, we'll call between this and this. And they might in it, because I'm supposed to get an email and a call from them. So I'm like, every time my phone dings, I'm like, is it the email from them? And maybe in the email it'll give me a better time of when they're going to call. But as of right now, it's just a mystery. But this morning he did get assigned an advisor and a teacher. And the stuff they're sending for like like materials, like they're setting up a pedometer and a jump rope and some books and a ball and a pump and stuff like that. Welcome in, Kara, and everybody from the raid. I got the shipping number for that, and it should be here tomorrow. Oh, look, because I paid them $5 yesterday, my shout outs just appear. It's good for 30 days. I don't know. We'll see. You know, if it acts up a bunch in the 30 days, I probably won't do it again. Because I know sometimes, even before, they went to this, please donate, and they were trying to decide if they were going to do monthly payments and stuff like that, sometimes it wouldn't work. So I paid them my $5 yesterday so I wouldn't have cooldowns. So we'll see how much it acts up in the 30 days. I'm going to try to keep like a tally of how many, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it doesn't work. So I'm going to keep a tally and see. $5 a month isn't that bad. It's not going to break my bank, but I also don't want to pay for something that isn't going to work all the time. Right. Okay, so I put Carrot's thing on, but for some reason, it then doesn't go away. And I have to, it's set to fade in, fade out, but it doesn't go away. I know, the cute little booty shake. Since this is fish themed, I went for opting of smooth, calming music instead of my normal head banging. Yeah, since it's fishy. Because this is the whole thing. Well, I can't even, it's like the size of my mat, so it's hard to, get all of it in the photo at once, the way my camera's angled. But I figured since it's fishy, we'll go with, a soothing... I looked for animal noises, sea life noises, and all I got was a lot of ocean sounds, even when I specifically put animals. I was like, maybe whale sounds or dolphin sounds, But all I kept getting was waves and bubbly water, so I was like, that's not gonna work. That is not what I'm going for. I don't want to have to pee every 5 seconds. This bladder has been abused by multiple children. It's fragile. Let's see, it did Carrot. And it did Exposing Alex, okay. I'm just trying to make sure it's actually working since I paid for it. Right? Man, this bladder has been abused by many, many children. I don't have the bladder of a young person. Yeah, so I don't know if you... Right, you're like, pee. Yeah, it's bad. So, these ones I've been doing are wooden Carrot, so they don't have that film on the back. But let me go look at my plastic ones. Right. Well, I mean, I could have borrowed it and put it in instead of this abused bladder. So, ads start in about 30 seconds. These are the ones I got for Christmas that, I won't be sending to people. But they're I want to see if they're like fantasies, because hers had. Oh yeah, see, this is what I was talking about, Carrot. It's got a coating on the back to help you not scratch the back while you're making it. But then, when you're done, you can take the coating off this and the coating off this and stick it together and have, a backing. So on your coasters, before you put your cork board on, make sure that there isn't plastic on the back. Because I guess a Fantasy didn't think about it or didn't realize it, and she put the cork on the plastic, and now, you can't get that thin plastic off the sticky cork. So one of hers doesn't have a backing, really, like the cork backing, so it doesn't slide all over the place. And now you get to hear me breathing hard because I'm pudgy and out of shape. Well, I'm in shape. It's just a circle. I have my pre-orders all printed out, and Crazy got to tally up how much I really spent before I even left for the signing. And I have my seating chart printed out and highlighted of who I want to see and who I've pre-ordered from, so I can figure out where they are in the room. All I need to do is get my cart out and my canvas to get it signed, and I will be all ready. I need to go get glow sticks too, because there's an 80s after party. So I bought like an off-the-shoulder kind of light sweater thing with like big kiss, like the on the front, and I'm gonna get glow bracelets to put on because it's an 80s after party. I figure the dollar store or Walmart or Target, they always have glow bracelets, right? Like all year, not just at Halloween. Do I, Carrot? I am not really that much of an outgoing person. Like, I just get excited because there's book people there, and I can act as inappropriate and talk about tentacle porn without people looking at me weird. I'd be like, did you read that book by Katie Robert with the Kraken? And they're like, oh my god, yes, it was fantastic. The things he did with his tentacles. And nobody thinks we're weird. Or did you see that mob book? See that mob book? He just wanted to get to know her better. That he kidnapped her and held her against her will and used her as a pawn. Used her body to pay off her father's debt. I am not really that exciting. Like 95% of the time I sit on my couch and I only leave my house when I have to. But I read lots of things, and therefore I travel to lots of worlds. There's a tattoo that says that. I want to get it. It's like a pile of... They're different ones, of course. Like a pile of books, and it says, I read, therefore I've gone to many worlds, or something like that. I don't care. It's cute, and I need more tattoos. So, Carrot, you said you were surprised. See? This is, I don't know if I can, I always forget which way the camera goes. But it goes from just between my boobs all the way up, and then all the way around. I can't even undo my shirt enough. But that's, I don't know if it's bigger than the one on my back or not. But we were talking about tattoos in Carrot's stream the other day, and he thought I was shy and quiet. I'm like, I am shy and quiet if I don't know you. And I'm not sure if I like you yet. And you'll know pretty fast if I don't like you. Yeah, I stay inside. I know, it's crazy. Kevin knew right away I was not quiet because Kevin is forced to listen to me yell on Crazy's Discord because Crazy just has the mic on like all the time, so anything I say in the house he can hear. And it's been like that for years. So Kevin knew I was not quiet and that I was crazy. There is a perpetual hot mic in our house, and I never care. I just say whatever. I'm sure I've traumatized people. It took a while to get used to, because at first I was like, that damn mic is on again. I have to watch what I say. And eventually I just gave up. I was like, no, I don't care anymore. If the mic is always going to be on, then they're always going to be forced to listen to what I say and my opinion on everything and my rants and tangents. Okay, so I got my first streamer mail yesterday. It's from Rad Builds. I'll let Crazy show you his tomorrow on his stream. But Rad Builds made me Harry Potter. He made it, and then he was like, I forgot about, like, mirroring it. So Harry Potter's, lightning bolt is on the wrong side. If you have it with the flat side. I was like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I know what you were trying to do. But it's so cool. And I was like, I'm going to put it where everybody can see it. I'm going to put, Fantasy has some magnets, and I think they'll stick to this. Because the poles on it are metal, so I'm going to try to put like one or two of her magnets and stick it on there. And he's like, I didn't do it so you would show everybody. I was like, boy, you send that to my house, I'm putting it on stream and calling you out. So everybody, this is Brad Builds. Like I said, he sent Crazy one too, but I'll let you show, I'll let him show you guys on his stream if he streams tomorrow, which I believe he's going to do. But yeah, I was like, woohoo, my first streamer mail. Hello, Beer Bear. How are you doing? 196. Fish sandwich, broccoli, and potatoes for lunch. I don't eat fish, but the rest sounds good. I mean, I eat tuna in a pouch and on very rare occasions fish sticks, but that's it. I don't eat anything else that comes out of the water.
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card, earn unlimited 2%
really,
cashback on
YouTube?
purchases you want, like dance lessons. Ow, ow, ow. And on what you need, like memory foam inserts. That's real life ready. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Well, apparently, YouTube thought we needed to know about a credit card. An Eevee? Didn't say anything about a sparkly, but right? Oh, dang it. What kind of Pokeball do I have? I have a great Cherish Ball. Right? I want a shiny Eevee. Man, Steel's gonna be so upset. Ooh, I caught it. So did Catacane. Whoop whoop. Wait, not shiny, but I'll take it. Do I have... I'm checking if I have another Eevee. Let's see. Search. Find the letter E on my keyboard. Or don't. Okay, I have 2 Eevees, but I also have an Espeon. I don't think either Eevee is shiny. Because there's no, like, little thing next to it. One is really bad, though. It has, like... Ugh, they're both not great. Ooh, a shiny Leafeon. I'm jealous. Okay. Well, where did you go? No. Well, I apparently didn't bring my skizzer in here. We have about 6 minutes left on Stream Raiders. Well, I only needed 2 beads. That was anticlimactic. So, how has everybody's week been going? Anything fun, exciting, shareable news? I know Joe had his surgery yesterday. I'm so glad that he is bounding about like nothing happened. My daughter was like that when she had her hand surgery. I mean, she was out, they did surgery, fixed that tendon and everything, and like later that day the bandage was basically falling off, and I'm like, do you need Tylenol? They said you could have some, and she's like, no, I'm fine. And she's like 4 when it happened, and she's acting like they didn't just cut open the palm of her hand and dig around in there. She's like, no, I'm fine. You just played all day like nothing happened. I think we gave her like 2 doses of the pain medicine, and that was it. And she was like, nah, who cares? I'm like, well, I'm in pain. My hand hurts just thinking about it. Tornado 2 nights ago. Luckily, knock on wood, we've been good so far. We had one like literally like a week or 2 after we moved in. It didn't hit us, but it did a lot of damage around us. And we were out of power for like a week, or what felt like a week, 4 days, something like that. So that wasn't fun. But, you know, Knocking on wood. Not sleeping well last night either. So cold again. Yeah, ours dropped. What was it? So today and yesterday. So yeah, Tuesday it was like mid 70s, and then yesterday it was like the high was like 52, and today again it's pretty chilly. And I was like, listen, Mother Nature, get your crap together, please. Right, you just gotta wait and see if it worked, and it's gonna take time because you know the pain from the surgery itself has to kind of wear off, and that you know what I mean, like wear down, like it has to stop hurting. So you won't really know right away, but fingers crossed, all the good vibes, however you want to say that. And girl, so much surgery in your house. I know Fantasy will probably have to have surgery on her elbow again. Because what they did when they went in last time was they took that extra piece of bone off that was making the ligament tendon here stretch and stretch. But she still doesn't like put her arm all the way out because she says she gets it close and she can feel the bone shift like they want to come out. So she just doesn't. She doesn't like extend her arm all the way like for the last couple years. So eventually, now that she's basically done growing because her growth plates are closed, they're gonna have to go in, and the way your elbow is kind of like your hip, it's a cup in a socket, you know, like a ball joint, like this, and her cup is not deep enough to keep the ball in when she puts it all the way out. So they're gonna have to go in and deepen the cup so that it can sit the way it's supposed to, but not too deep so that it can't move the way it's supposed to. It's a very fine balance. But in order to do that, they have to, like, it's a major surgery. Last time it was a little cut like this long, and she has it on her arm. It's like this long. But this would be major because they'd have to go in so that they could move the bone out and put it back and decide. And so, like, they basically have to, like, take her elbow apart. So that is not the ideal situation, but that's eventually what she's going to have to do. And we have to be careful of Boy Wonder because he has the same kind of thing with his knee. So underneath your kneecap, there's a little like this, like comes up and then your kneecap sits over top, but he doesn't have that. It's just smooth. So potentially later he could have to have some kind of surgery like that too, where it straightens itself out essentially, where they add something underneath there. So yeah, they told her before she had to wait till she stopped growing, which we understood. There's no point in going in and trying to fix it, and then 6 months to a year later they have to go in again because now the bone is grown or things around it have grown. But she'll eventually have to have that. She's not looking forward to it, so she just kind of like doesn't talk about it. But it took a long time to get it to where it is now, to figure out what was wrong with it. So, Carrot was complaining about his color chart not being, color schemed, however you want to say, like light to dark. Sorry, I'm horrible at this damn camera. Yeah, there we go. So I have purple, like a black, then a dark purple, then a light, then a blue, then some yellows, then greens, then oranges, then light, then tan, then blue, then reds, then gray, and green and black, and turquoise and blue. Carrot was complaining about how it didn't just go light to dark. Yeah, it's all over. The colors are just like blue, 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 blue. And this brand, because it's more like name brand, like Nike compared to what Walmart brand. They're like the color they have around it is very similar to the color of the bead itself, or gem, whatever you want to call it. So it is literally like all over the place. Okay, Stream Raiders. I heard it that time, and I did turn it up. So hopefully when we play games on Sunday, we'll be able to hear it. Because I did turn the sound effect for the notification that the battle is done up. I think we're going to die, but we'll see. There's 15 of us, and I think there's only 13 of them. However, they look pretty, I think they're pretty powerful. Because it was a 5-star battle, so... Welcome in, Danny. How are you? Yeah, listen, I'm not real great. I'll probably won't help very much. Oh, yep, there I go. Hey, but I took some of them out. Not looking forward to the recovery of my surgery, and I hope we may put in splints in. I think they will. They don't put splints in, but I think they will. Yeah, because you're nasal, they'll probably put in splints to help keep that open.
We have always lurked among you.
Hey, Becca! Thank you for the lurk. I meant to write down your name so it would do you a shout out, like automatically. Ooh, I'm surprised we survived because I thought that was gonna fail. Mainly because I thought they were strong because it was a 5 skull battle and there were only 13 of them, so I was like, You helped. Everybody needs cannon fodder. Like, some of everyone died this time. Blue boof? I don't know what that said. Okay, so this one is a loyalty skin chest. You have the chance to get a skin for one of your creatures. A new one for you. Howdy, y'all. Danny Phantoms is the ultimate geeky neighbor from Texas. Oh, that is different. Serving up a delightful mix of Star Wars lore, Marvel updates, and magical Disney trips. They're all about that brick building life with Lego creations that'll make you go rawr, I guess. Tune in for family-friendly chats where fandom dreams come alive and even lurkers feel at home. Whether it's Hogwarts or Tatooine, they've got the deets. Catch up on streams more like Catch the Fun vibes. That is a different one. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Rawr. It just got like it says PogChamp. I don't know. I have a growl we can do. It's a Perry the Platypus growl, but it'll do. Oh, that's what I was doing. Okay. Start battle. It's thinking. Okay, if you choose to put your stuff in the purple area, that's a defensive zone, meaning they won't move out of that zone until, like, the people come to them, kind of a deal, or until, like, there's nothing else. But they'll be, like, the last to move out of that zone. So it's like, good for, like, distance, like archers and the cannon guys. Anything ranged is okay in the purple area, but that's probably all you really want to put in there. So I'll put ranged in there just so it's kind of like a thought, you know. Not that it really matters. You can do what you want. If we die, I'm not worried about it. We'll just do it again. I can level somebody up. There are drops as well again. So if we want to switch the category to Stream Raiders so you guys can get the drops, we can do that. I wasn't sure like how many people would be interested in it. I should know you guys love it though. Just making sure I didn't complete any things. What am I doing? No, not that one. This one. Let's see. Change category to stream. If I can type today. Stream Raiders. This time it's not money, it's Let me change to my web browser thing. This time, it's not money. You get scrolls. So, like, for 1 hour, you get vampire scrolls. For 2 hours, you get 20 lancer scrolls. Then 3 hours, it's 20 fairy scrolls. At 4 hours, it's 20 gladiator scrolls. And at 6 hours, it's 20 blob scrolls. So, but it's still good, you know. Oh, I should have read that thing. Let me go to campaign and make sure it's not just certain people. It says use drops inventory page to monitor about this drop. Okay, here we go. Okay, it doesn't say like the first couple days it's only certain streamers. And it started just yesterday. So I think... Oh, here we go. For captains, the first and second day of drops are available to select captains. So I may not be one of the captains. I don't know. I know that I have clicked it, to allow people... Viewer rewards drops. It's clicked on for me, but I don't know if that means I'm still one of the... You know what I mean? I could potentially not be one of the people chosen, though. But we'll roll with it. Because it just says select people, but we'll see. Alright, it's not going to hurt anything by having it up there if it turns out I'm not. If not, for Sunday for sure I will be, because it's only the first 2 days. And it goes through till March 7th. So that's a while. So even if I am not one today, Sunday definitely, because it'll be all, all captains. Ill with your beans. Nobody likes your beans. Sausage and rice, yay. Beans, no. No beans. Beans are disgusting. I barely eat green beans. I just literally need one of these. I did not mispronounce disgusting. It is disgusting. There are things that I eat that you don't like, that you think are weird. Nutella, for instance, is delicious, slathered on many different things, and you do not like Nutella. The chocolatey hazelnut deliciousness. Yeah, and he doesn't like Jaeger, which is delicious. It just tastes like black licorice. There's a vegetable that tastes like black licorice. It's like a root vegetable. What is it now? My brain's gonna be like going crazy. You can, when we lived in Virginia, fennel, the grocery store there would sell it like in a container already pre-cut up and everything, and I would just buy it and eat it. A friend of ours, his girlfriend worked at a restaurant, and whenever she'd come over to hang out, she'd bring wings from their restaurant, and one of their sides, instead of like carrots and celery, was fennel. And I would just, like, nobody else wanted it, and I'd just sit there chowing down on the fennel. It was delicious. The Piggly Wiggly? Are there even any more Piggly Wigglies open? Like, are they, like, are there any Piggly Wigglies open anymore? Yeah, I was just eating it raw like a carrot or a celery. Just chomp, 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 chomp. It's delicious. Right? Like, I don't know where there's an open Piggly Wiggly. Where are you going for vacation, Beer Bear? I think it's beach. If I did this right. Ah. We are going when the kids... Yes, it was an actual chain of grocery stores, mostly in the Midwest. Like central states. Right, like it's an actual grocery store. Yeah, Midwest, Middies. I thought it was more like central, but maybe it is further over. But yes, it was an actual place you could go. Did I not type that right?
A backyard bitch, a backyard bitch.
Maybe it's different then. I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania, so we had Weiss's and a literal Acme. They did not sell anvils, but yeah, now it's Kroger, Dillon's, and something else, Baker's. They're all really the same store, just in different places. Because here in Arkansas, it's Kroger, but when we lived in Nebraska, it was Baker's. But there's another one, Dillon's. They're really all the same store. They just changed the name based on the region. Maybe it is. I don't know. I know it's an actual store you could go to, though. Piggly Wiggly. Yeah, I don't know why. Actually, I think I kind of maybe know why. I think they were smaller grocery store chains that got bought by like the parent company, and they're all now part of the same company. I think that's what it was. They bought 2 other smaller grocery chains and just left the name the same. like bought two regional kind of grocery store chains. And so they left the name the same, but now they're all part of the same parent company. For like Baker's and Kroger's and Dillon's. Yeah, Walmart is something different with Sam's Club. Is it weird that I don't mind going to Sam's Club? I actually like it. But I detest Walmart. Like, I hate going into Walmart. I love Sam's Club, but I hate Walmart. Yeah, Carrot said there's like 499 of them left or something. But, like, I never see them. So I'm like, are they still a thing? It might be. And I think what it is, especially since Walmart has, like, I wasn't crazy about Walmart before, but since they've gone to, like, where you can do, like, the drive up, which is fantastic, but now the employees in the store, if you have to stop and ask them for anything, they act like you're stopping them from doing their job, because every employee there is doing, like, the pick and pack, where they shop for you. And I understand that. And I try not to stop any employees unless I really can't find something. But then they're like, oh, it's over there. And it's like, this is still part of your job. Now it's like, excuse me, this isn't my section. Kind of like, they just seem irritated that they have to deal with you. And I get that they probably have to deal with some really crazy people, because it's Walmart and you don't even have to get dressed to go there. But they seem like extra irritated they had to stop and help you. And another thing, every time we shop at a Walmart, our credit card number gets stolen. And it's not like, it has happened in like a bunch of different places. So it's not just yeah, I mean, they did act like that before, but it seems worse now. Like, can't you see I'm in the middle of an order? I really try. I try to always be like super courteous and nice. But like, I know you're trying to do your job. I just need 2 seconds of your time. Can you tell me if I'm just looking in the wrong place for this? Have they been maybe moved to an end cap? I know that happens. They get pulled off the shelf, put on an end cap to display or something. And it's horrible. But like I said, it could be also the fact that every time we shop at Walmart, our credit card seems to get stolen. Listen, I did the Instacart where you shopped in store and took it to people, or just shopped in store and somebody else came and picked it up. I know it is annoying. You are literally in the middle of an order. You are technically already doing a job. And then somebody's like, can you help me? I understand that it's annoying. So I try to not ask unless I absolutely have to. Sorry, it said I had a text, but I didn't see one. I see no text, silly phone. Pretty wing pattern. Oh, on the yeah. I was like, what? I don't know anymore. Yeah, the stores get rearranged entirely. Probably the same group of people setting up steel cart. Yeah. It's like every time, and it's not even like the same Walmart. It's like we've been to ones all over, having lived all over. It seems like every time we go. Now, crazy's always like, we have to pay in cash. Like, we cannot use our card at Walmart. We have to pay in cash. Or use, like, a prepaid gift card. Yeah, like when I was doing it, I would try to help people unless they were rude when they walked up, like shoved their phone in my face. Can you help me find this? You need to back up. I don't work here. And there used to be people who used to get upset because technically you're working in a Wegmans, but you don't work for Wegmans. So we didn't have uniforms. We just had regular, like, you know what I mean? We didn't have a shirt on that said Wegmans or Instacart or anything, just regular everyday clothing. And people would come up and they're like, excuse me, I see you're working. You're not allowed to wear headphones. I don't work for Wegmans. But you're working in the store, and that's rude. And I was like, lady, I'm about to get real rude, and it's going to have nothing to do with headphones or working for Wegmans. Or you'd like help 3 people, like, oh, that's one aisle back, because they'd be looking for something. It's just one aisle back, or it's over there. And then the 4th person would be like wanting you to shop for them, and you're like, I don't work here, and I'd walk away. Like, I don't work here. Well, you just help them. Yeah, because they were nice and you're annoying, and I don't have to help you because I don't work for Wegmans. I don't have to help you. Yeah, like, excuse me, I'm short. Can you please get that for me? And, you know, like, if I was already bent down grabbing a box of noodles, I would gladly grab an extra box and hand it to a customer if they were going for the same thing. Like, we can all work cohesively together, like, but if you want to be like, get me that, like, excuse me, I know your mother taught you manners, and if she didn't, that's not my problem. Like, I don't have to get things for you. I don't have to be nice to you. You work in customer service, yeah, but not serving you. Hello, Fantasy. Yeah, like, and brick tax. Okay, let me cover this up so I don't accidentally get something stuck to it. Yeah, like, you have to. I don't have to do shit. You're confused. Yeah, like, listen, I have bear hair and kitty hair stuck in other ones. It's like that. Okay, I know a lot. Some of you have kids, some of you don't. But the people who have kids know what I'm talking about. You take your kid to the park and they have that toy, and that one other kid comes over and is like, I want to play with that. That's nice. They're playing with it. Well, I want it. Well, you're not my kid, so please go away. Your kid should share. You should go away. Right? Like, I want a ton of shit, but you're still here. Like, my current wish is for you to go away. Oops, I didn't get what I wanted either. Like, I don't make my kids share with each other. Why am I gonna make them share with some kid I don't even know? Oh, I'm looking for a flat piece. It was not a flat piece. Right, like, they don't want to give it back. And the parents like, well, just let them have it. No, go away. Right, I don't really leave my house all that often. Yeah, they have a meltdown, they have to give it back. They lose it, they break it. Yeah, the parents. My kid wants, well, I don't give a shit what your kid wants, and I really don't care what you want, so you can both go away for all I care. Right, like... Right? Your money should always be me in a fight. If I don't physically hurt you, I will mentally eviscerate you. That was my thing in school. I did not pick on people, but if you started something with me, I would tear you to shreds. And I didn't even have to lift a finger. Like I know it sounds bad, but I did not go after people. But if they went after me, I was definitely gonna finish it. And boys are stupid and girls are petty. And so some girl would start a fight and she'd call you something, and then I'd go, okay, your eyebrows are uneven and your dress looks like shit, and then I'd go make out with her boyfriend in the hallway.
Evie!
Yeah. I'd go make out with her boyfriend in the hallway so she could see from inside the classroom and not do anything about it. There, touch someone's mouth, mess it up. Yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy. Like, I don't care that your kid wants it. Your kid is not my kid. I don't have to pretend to even care what your kid wants. And that's the thing. It would always be like, oh yeah, I was petty. I always had sarcastic comments, like waiting to be dispatched. I never know what I was going to say. Sometimes there is no thought. It just comes out. Yeah. So in high school, it was easy. I'll just flirt with your boyfriend over there. We're done. Okay. We made a seating area and a coffee table. Like, I was petty. Like, you want to start something stupid with me? I don't even know you. And you want to, like, come and, like, I don't know what the hell you thought you were doing. I was short. And for, like, not really pudgy, because I didn't even, like, even into high school, I wear, like, a size 14 in little kids. I weighed, like, 95 pounds. And I was not even 5 foot tall. And I was like, I don't know what joy you get out of picking on me. And I know I look like an easy target, but this is possibly the worst decision you could have ever made. Okay. Yeah, I was just mean. Like, I was nice until you did something to me. And then it was like, okay, let's go. Yeah, it was not fun for the other person. I was in, like, a lot of stuff, too. I was in, like, band and choir and marching band and indoor drum line. You know, all kinds of stuff. And so it was like a lot of people knew me. In fact, my cousin babysat, and I was at my locker, or at a locker, with a couple friends, and this girl came up to me. I was probably, I don't know, the very beginning of high school, maybe the end of middle school, and she was like, "Are you Kathy?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "Your cousin Erin babysits for me and my sister." And I was like, okay, I don't like my cousin, so I don't know you. And she was like, she told me to come find you because people were picking on me. And I was like, oh, hell no. I don't even know you. Let's go tear some shit up. You can barely string 2 words to talk to me. You look like you want to run in the other direction. Let's go tear some shit up. Who's picking on you? Make my day. It's 9 o'clock and I haven't made anybody cry yet. My day is not complete. Yeah. It was a fun. I just like to make people cry. And it did not stop as, like, and I know that sounds bad, like I'm the bully, but it's usually like people who do stupid shit, like, or start shit and I finish it. Like, I had a friend when we lived in Nebraska, and she was kind of flitty herself, but she was like 26 and I was already like in my 30s. And then she knew a girl like in her same, you know, because it's one of those friend of a friend of a friend of, you know, you wind up meeting a whole bunch of different people because you all hang out. And this girl was like 19, 20 years old. And I knew pebbles on the street that were smarter than that girl. And she would say something, and I can't deal with stupid people. And it was like, you could tell it was a front. Like, if I act stupid and helpless, the boys will all flock to me. And she said something, and I was like, whatever, nobody likes you. And then apparently she cried later, and her friend came to my friend and was like, you made her cry. And I was like, I did that. And they're like, what? I was like, I said she was stupid and nobody liked her. And they're like, well, you made her cry, apologize. And I was like, I'm not going to apologize for the truth. When she acts stupid, she's going to get called stupid. It's an act. This is all an act. I'm in my 30s. I don't have to apologize to anybody I don't want to. She wants to stop acting like she's an airhead so that the boys will flock to her. Then I'll stop calling her stupid. Like, she acts like she doesn't know how to open a damn door, like she's never seen a doorknob before. Of course I'm going to call her stupid. I'm intoxicated. She's intoxicated. She's only here because it's her 21st birthday and nobody wanted to go out and hang out with her and drink. 3 people went out with her. She texted the entire group chat and only 3 people agreed to go out with her. It is not my problem. Nobody likes her. I'm always the person in the group who says something that everybody else is thinking, which has its positives and its drawbacks. I'm that friend that other people warn them about. They're like, listen, my friend's coming, and she just says stuff. She's not meaning it to be mean. It's just what she sees. And then I'm like, okay, it is kind of mean. And I don't necessarily like target, but I can be mean. And then I'm also told by our mutual friend, like, hey, remember, if you can't say nice, don't say anything at all. And then I don't say like anything all night, and they're like, you didn't like them. And I was like, nope, but see, I kept my mouth shut. Yeah, the Come to Jesus meeting. I was not invited to the Come to Jesus meeting. So we had a pretty large friend group when we lived in Virginia. And I would go to things sometimes, or sometimes I would just stay home. Like, I don't need to be involved in everything. And sometimes I didn't like the people that were going, so I didn't go. Because I was like, nope, there's going to be drinking involved. And eventually, what little thin layer of filter I have is just going to be gone. And that's no good for anybody. Because I don't want to have to apologize for something I said when I'm not really sorry. So I would just stay home. And apparently there was a Come to Jesus meeting. The one girl was mad because she wanted, if you were going to invite her to something, you couldn't just put it in the group chat. You had to message her personally and personally invite her. And at some point she decided that wasn't even enough. Like, you should have to call her or go to her house and personally ask her. And I was like, I'm not doing that. But I guess there was a Come to Jesus meeting. She invited everybody over, and everybody in the group, but my friend Laura was like, we don't need to invite Kathy. She can just stay home. And so I did. And later that night, she's like, I should have just invited you to the Come to Jesus meeting. It would have been over in 5 minutes and 3 people would have been crying. But it would have been a great show. I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. Thank you for the alert, Kaz. Ooh, look, I got a bizarre rogue skin. That looks cool. Let's see who. It picked Catacane. You got 200 coin. But yeah, she's like, I should have just let you come to the meeting. It would have been over in like 5 minutes. I will eventually get my fingers to work right. I'm gonna have to try to put Kaz's in Firebot because it doesn't like her name in the Streamlabs chatbot. There's a couple that it doesn't seem to want to call out. Like, I don't know. And I have made sure it's exactly right as her name and stuff, but it just does not want to. Pressing wrong buttons. Pull up the right thing. Here we go. Did I finish any quests? No. None of that. And not really money, so. I got that skin. Equip. The rogue. So, should we keep that rogue, or should we go to the weird looking thing? I like this guy with his blue sword or his blue knife. Okay, what do we got? Oh, we got the big fight, which is a loyalty boss chest. Good chance of rare scrolls or 10 plus gold drops. Viewers unlock more loyalty chest rewards as they win more battles with you. So the more battles we win together, the better stuff you get. I love how they like bounce back and forth. Those big ass bugs. Remember again that the blue or the purple here is like better for ranged stuff because it doesn't move. Like they don't really come out of that area. So I'll just do that again. Yeah, the power of friendship. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I did put it back. One. So when the kids have off for spring break, we are going to go visit Crazy's brother. So I will miss probably that Sunday, which would be the 17th, I think. Let me look at my calendar real quick. Yeah, it'll be like the 17th and the 19th. I won't do those two streams, that Sunday and Tuesday, because we will be out of town. And while I have a laptop, it is not like powerful enough to like stream and play the video game. It doesn't even like to stream and do the chat, the closed captioning at the same time. I'm not even sure what we're going to do when we're there, but there was talk of an amusement park and things like that, so we shall see. Was it Charlotte? Was that North Carolina? Oh, that's fun. Sometimes it's just nice to get away from the house. North Carolina, is that it? South Carolina? Whatever, wherever Charlotte is. North Carolina, I think. Near there, anyway. Is where we plan to go. I don't know where anybody lives. So, if you're close to there, we could potentially meet up. It's Crazy's middle brother. He he bought a house this past summer, a couple months ago, I don't know, recently, and invited us all to come out during spring break and check it out. No, that's not close. We're going to drive there because even with his discount, like as a pilot, 4 tickets is still expensive. And I could think of better things to spend on that money, spend that money on. And so we're just going to drive. Rude, he should have stopped to see you. Was he on a deadline? Did he have to get there by a certain time? Oh, we're in ads. Okay, I know I missed a couple, so I'm gonna go back quickly. It's like one bead here, one bead there. I think he was going for some getaway weekend, but I don't think he was that much. Right, like it didn't have to be long. You could have had like lunch or something. A quick coffee. It didn't have to be like a couple hour thing. Especially if he was like that close. Okay, you're annoying. I just need one bead. Just one. There we go. And I know I missed some for number 1. Like, I could see if he had to be somewhere by a certain time. That's understandable. Maybe on the way back then, but if, Number 9. Good luck. Hopefully, probably, obviously not last night because he just had the surgery yesterday and today is still pretty tender. But hopefully soon things start becoming more easy and you can have actual good sleep. I only needed one of those, damn it. Like hopefully soon you can kind of get back into the routine you had before. So yesterday, Boy Wonder was pulled aside, I don't know, assistant principal, whatever he was, counselor, somebody, to try to talk to him and figure out what has been happening. And he basically wouldn't talk to him. He was like, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be here after Friday, which we hadn't told the school yet because I don't have to tell them until Friday, till tomorrow. And so we hadn't said anything because, one, we were worried that they would really stop trying to figure out what was going on if he wasn't going to be there anymore. They're like, oh well, problem solved. Well, that's good at least that he seems kind of like ready to get back into that routine, or at least more willing. And he basically told the guy, like, it's not my deal. Like, he wouldn't give him examples. He would just say it's loud and kids are mean, but he wouldn't like give any examples of why kids were mean. And the guy was like, oh, I used to be your size when I was your age, and like trying to connect with him because Boy Wonder is small for his age. He's like the size of a 10-year-old or something. And he's 13. He's just small. And he like had no interest in trying to connect with this guy. But we had a plumber here yesterday because we had a clog. You know, they had to come snake it, whatever. And he said that he's had problems up there too. Like, they just don't care. They like brush it off. But Crazy was talking to the guy on the phone, and he's like, well, this has been going on all year. They had the teachers fill out this form last week, each one of his teachers. And on it is like, is he the bully? Is he getting bullied? Is he social? Is he this? It was like, I don't know, 10 or 15 questions, and then they could write a little something at the bottom. And almost every one of his teachers said that he isolates from the other kids in class. And several of them wrote that he was picked on, and then all kinds of stuff. Yeah, he turned 13 in September, and he wears a size 10 in clothes. He's tiny. I think he's finally, like, some of them are getting a little short now, so he'll have to size up. But he weighs maybe 55 pounds, 60 pounds. He's not very much at all. He's short. And he's got long curly hair till, like, his hair is probably down to here. And he's got curly poofy hair because he brushes it out in the morning. So I think he's an easy target. You know, kids. And then they bully up. You know, it's bad. And Crazy was saying, you know, all these teachers circled these things, and that means that they knew about it the entire year, and nobody tried to escalate it up to, like, the counselor or to you guys in the office, which means they didn't care, or they just thought it was normal and brushed it off. Now, it never came back from the ad. They said, Bear, you have been, exiled. You know, which means that they knew it was going on, something was going on the whole time, and didn't bother to email home that said, hey, just wondering, is Cullen kind of a loner? He doesn't really hang out with other kids? Or is he social normally? Nothing. So we're like, so this has been going on since August in some form, and nobody bothered to, like, call home or ask or escalate it up to the office. And now that we've brought it to your attention for a second time now, and brought up the possibility of him no longer going here, now you guys are, like, scrambling to find an answer. But all you did was call home to say that you didn't have an answer. Like, I couldn't find anything out. Oh well. Yeah. Well, they've all been tiny for their age for a long time. Fantasy took drugs from the time she was like 2.5 till like 12.5 or 13 years old. 13 probably. So that she would grow, because she was itty bitty. They said she, like, this little chart thing they use, you know, they take the parents' height, the mom's height, the dad's height, they take so many inches off the dad's height to make it like feminine relation, and then they get an estimate of how tall your child is. It's not perfect science, but it gives you like a roundabout estimation. And then they took her current growth, like how far she had been growing, and used that in another formula, and said she would have been like 3'6" full grown had we not put her on the med. She would have been a legal midget. Right, it's like mental warfare. And the thing is, it was like that in a way when I was in school. I just would eviscerate them right back, and that was just how you did it. But now, if you say anything back, the bullies run to the teacher and tell, oh, so-and-so said something to me. And then when you try to explain that, hey, they said something to me first, they're like, yeah, but you shouldn't have said it back. You should have come told me. So then both parties are in trouble. And the bully's like, the kid, instead of both parties being in trouble for saying something, only the kid who said something back in retaliation gets in trouble. And the bullies don't care. They're like, haha, you got in trouble, not me. And they're good at it. They say it when nobody's around, when nobody's there to say, or they say it so low the teacher can't hear it. Like, they know. Like, instead of just letting them go fight it out in the yard, you can't do any of that anymore. And now it's like, it's gotten so much worse in a way because you can't just haul off and get in a fight with somebody. Like, I'm not saying, well, I always say violence is the answer, but you know what I mean. Like, when we were young, you got in a fight with somebody in somebody's front yard, and you had it out. Like, you had to have, you know, I'm still mad and mostly hadn't been able to keep constant primary care doctors. Choice was adamant in time, potentially has been able to give Chibi the opportunity to have growth hormones. Yeah, when we were near the end of when we were in Nebraska, you know, we lived in military housing, so people were always moving in and out. A lady had moved in, and her kid was 14, and she's like, now they're finally talking about it. And I was like, I guess because he's a boy, it still might be all right, because boys grow longer than girls. But I was like, they told Fantasy that 14, like at 14 was going to be the cutoff, because most girls are done growing by then. But I guess they allow boys to take it a little longer, but they hadn't even started talking about him taking it until he was 14. But Fantasy's was kind of severe. She had actually stopped growing and basically stopped gaining weight at like 2. She, I think at her 2-year checkup, from her 18-month to her 2-year, she had only gained like half a pound and half an inch, which at kids at that age are still rapidly growing, and she was not. She was all but basically stopped. And then they started keeping a check on her. She would go every 3 months, just like a baby would. And they're like, okay, she's basically not growing or gaining weight. And they said the weight was because her body wasn't growing. So her brain was telling her that you don't need to eat, because you don't need to like eat a lot, because you're not growing. Your body doesn't need that many calories. So she would eat like half a mini bagel in the morning and like 2 grapes. And then for lunch, she would eat like 3 bites of a sandwich and something else. Well, you're like me. You just, well, you exercise a lot. You burn a lot of calories exercising like that. So yes, you do still need to eat a lot. But, you know, her body was like, we're not growing. We don't need the fuel. And so we had to keep a log for like 2 weeks of everything she ate. And they're like, she doesn't eat enough. And I was like, well, I can't, what do you want me to do? Like, force the food down her throat? Like, what do you want me to do? And they're like, well, you could put her on those meal replacement shakes. And they do that a lot for kids to help them get extra calories. And I was like, okay. And they're like, just do like the the breakfast. Yeah, I'm growing out. Maybe my boobs are getting the weight. They're like, just do that Carnation instant breakfast stuff. And I was like, she's allergic to dairy. And they're like, what? And I was like, dairy's the first ingredient in there. She can't have it. She's allergic to dairy. And they're like, oh, well, there's got to be another kind. And I was like, every kind in the grocery store has dairy in it. She can't have dairy. And then we found some kind of soy version, and we showed it to the doctor, and like a case of 6 was like $20, like 6 bottles. And they wanted her to drink 1 a day to start with. And I was like, that's not even a week's worth, and it's $20. Listen, we are broke ass poor. We can't afford this. Like, is there any way insurance will cover it or something else? And when we brought up somebody else paying for it, they were like, yeah, she doesn't need it. Just feed her more protein, like in peanut butter and broccoli and stuff like that. But they knew pretty early that she had something. And I mean, since then they've kind of connected all these dots, which I'm sure helped somebody, but it didn't help her. Like, I'm sure it's now added to a database, and they're like, oh, when these things all pop up together, this could be a condition. And then they treat the kids faster. Which I'm yay, somebody else didn't have to go through it, but didn't help her very much. Listen, I'm growing too. I think I need to start doing water aerobics again. I was doing that while we were in North Dakota, and it worked pretty well. Like I said, I didn't really lose weight, but I did get, like, tighter. Like, I could visibly, like, some shirts were bigger on me than they were before, but the weight on the scale was basically the same. Okay, Cat Kane, have a good day at work. I know I answered Carrot's questions, and I'm like, okay, I have to go do this stuff, or I'm not going to do it today. Like, if I allow myself to lose motivation, that's it, I'm done. I stall out, so I hope that's what happens with me. Yeah, like, I mean, you're burning. I watch you work out, and I'm tired just watching you. It wasn't until Chibi's checkup last September with her first doctor we've had in over a year, in years, that the whole she could have had both hormones earlier was even brought up. Because she'd apparently slowed down in growth and height-wise within the past year, and the doctor was like, it's too late now because she's pretty much done growing. Yeah. Doctor then told me to cut her down on food she was eating because she was getting overweight. We will win, Catacane. Bye-bye. Trying to average like 1,000 calories and burning a day, and then that's like 5 times a week. And that's good. I mean, when you burn a lot of calories, you need to eat more to, like, still average out. Yeah, it's weird. Like, she sees an she doesn't anymore. She saw an endocrinologist, and people are like, oh, she's diabetic. And I was like, okay, an endocrinologist I know does with people with diabetes, but they also deal with, like, hormone issues. And her thyroid and her pituitary don't work right. So she saw them for all kinds of things. And she would have kept seeing them if she did not start puberty on her own. As I said, some kids who have what she has, they have to basically artificially jumpstart puberty, and then it kind of takes over on its own. But the first doesn't happen. And if she didn't start puberty on her own, then she would have kept seeing the endocrinologist. Mind you, the kid is still decently smaller than me and more active than me overall, but at the time she was eating both a home lunch I'd pack for her and also eating the school lunch every day just because the school would give it to her. Yep, I feel that. Boy Wonder likes to do breakfast at home and second breakfast at school. I keep forgetting I don't need to move the whole box anymore. Right? He'll eat breakfast at home and breakfast at school. Ugh, stickers. I hate stickers. I had a brick separator. Oh, there it is. When I moved my thing back, it moved. Or it got covered up. Yeah, for like a whole year, he'd eat breakfast at home and then go to school and eat second breakfast. And then we kept getting a bill from the school. And I was like, really? Like, I understand you're not going to deny him food. And I'm glad that you're not denying him food. But boy wonder, man. Okay. So we put the top on our table. And now we have a painting on the wall. Like, child, you're going to eat me and the school out of house and home. Oh, we're gonna have cheese in the next step and chocolate in the step after that. The other day he did eat lunch at home, and he packed the lunch and took it. And then he's like, they had spaghetti at school today. And I was like, I thought you took your lunch. He's like, I did. I was so hungry. And I was like, okay, whatever. Meanwhile, my fiance's like, give it some time. She might still shoot up some anyway. Though that's based on how similar Chibi's autism is to a brother of his autism. And see, and I think a lot of it is boys and girls. Girls stop growing faster, and boys continue to grow longer. That's why, like in gymnastics, why female gymnasts peak in their teens and male gymnasts don't peak until they're in their mid-20s, because they haven't stopped growing. When I played football, I would eat 7 plates at the buffet. I know, and that is scary. Because when he says 7 plates, he means 7 heaping, overflowing plates of food. Not like he had a salad plate and a fruit plate and then a meat. Like, no, 7 overflowing plates of food. They had a saying in Crazy's house, because it was 3 boys, whoever eats the fastest eats the mostest. Sure, I remember I'm looking up the right. Yeah, whoever eats the fastest. I keep forgetting boy men gymnasts even exist, probably because I've only really heard about girl women. Yeah, like male gymnasts keep going, and they don't really like peak until their mid-20s, because boys keep growing longer than girls do. So, we didn't have time for rabbit food growing up. But yeah, I think that's why they allow the boys to take the artificial growth hormones longer than girls. I out-ate my brothers with rabbit food. My family was asked to leave a buffet once because we ate too much. I don't doubt that. Because they have, you know, kind of a set idea of how much people will eat. And they figure some will eat less and some will eat more, but it'll all kind of even out in the end. And when one family group, whatever, comes in and they're eating like crazy, they're like, oh, okay, you've got to go. Bye-bye. Welcome in, Clockwork. It only took me like 2 or more hours, but the fridge is clean. I am glad the fridge is clean. We try to do like a fridge clean out like every week on the night we put out the trash cans. We try to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like get rid of stuff, leftovers, and then I do like a massive like take everything out, clean everything down, like every 6 months. Honestly, I want to see more girls get the chance for a longer time on growth hormones consistently enough to see if there will be an actual difference in comparison to boys. So I know from fantasy being on them, once a year they do like a big blood test where they test for multiple things. So they take like 3 tubes of blood and they test for a variety of things, a lot of hormone levels and things like that. And once a year they do this thing where they take an x-ray of their growth plate and they can see how much space is left till they're done growing, like they can determine that based on how much space is still there. So I mean, the growth hormones won't make them grow for longer. And they stop it based on those growth plates, how much space. Like Addison or Fantasy stopped when she only had like a playing cards with the space. And they said she could have kept taking them, but there wouldn't have been a huge difference if she kept taking them versus getting off of them when she did, because there's only that tiny sliver of space left. And the bones in her fingers had already closed. Like there was no more space. So they could tell she wasn't going to grow anymore. And they know from studying it for years that about 14 is when most growths stop growing. So I suppose if she still had a ton of space left at 14, they probably would have kept her on it. But because she didn't, they didn't bother. Now, I know from when they were looking at Boy Wonder's knee, he's got a ton. I mean, he's 13 and a half. He's got a ton of growth left. So they would probably allow him to keep taking it past 14, and we're fighting with Children's right now to get him seen. I need to just like give up and like go in. Stop trying to play back and forth with the like you call here, I'll call there, and back and forth and back and forth. See, I'm learning stuff because I didn't even know growth plates were a thing. Well, I guess with that, it's definitely not another one of those medical buys. No, when she, like the first 2 times they did it, they took literal full body x-rays. They took an x-ray of her wrist joint, her elbow joint, her shoulder joints, her hips, her knees, her ankles, to get a picture of every growth plate to see how far apart they were. And then when she had been on it like a full year, they did that again, those full body, to see how much change had happened in that year. And then after that, they would just do the wrist. They would just do like her hand and up to like maybe here on the x-ray. That's all that would be in the x-ray. But they could see like the bones in her hand, how far apart they were, you know, like the first knuckle, second knuckle, then to the hand. They could see from the hand to the arm how much space. And I mean, like, even like in her arm here, because there's the 2 bones, they could measure them as well. And that gives them, like I said, it's not a perfect science, but it gives them a really good guesstimation on how much they have to grow left, like how much space is for that to grow. It's expensive is why they don't do it. That's why they don't do it unless there's a reason to, because it doesn't like change anything. And x-rays have radiation. I mean, it's very tiny doses, but they don't check for that stuff unless there's a reason to check. Really, they go on how they measure and weigh them, and based on that, they should know whether they need to take that next step to have those things measured. That's what they go off a lot. When they're super tiny, there's blood test. Well, I guess not super tiny, because at any age there's like blood tests that check like hormone levels and things. Like with Fantasy, when she had her big test as part of determining what she had or what was going on, they could measure the literal growth hormone in her system, and it wasn't a lot. And that was another one of the reasons. And we didn't have to put her on the growth hormones. We could have chose not to put her on them. And really the only, like I say only side effect, she wouldn't have grown very tall. She would have been 3'6"-ish, you know, rough estimate. But it would have affected other things. Like it would have affected her, how she went through puberty maybe, and if she could ever carry kids, because when you're 3'6", there's nowhere, you know, and all her organs would have been smaller to accommodate the size of her body, you know. So I mean, they told us we didn't have to put her on them. She just would have been small. Woohoo, we won. Did anybody get a skin in their box the last time? Catacane got it again, and this game likes Catacane. We defeated the boss. Ooh, let me see. Let's go to the bottom. Let's do it based on level. There we go. I did not get a skin, but I got a bunch of scrolls. Okay, so maybe not that consistent then, but with the likelihood of parents being forced to change doctors because of doctors no longer taking a certain insurance. And also with that, it's best to ask for a copy of your child's records. If you know you're going to have to switch doctors, it's best to be like, hey, can I get a copy? This way I can be sure my next doctor gets all of their information. Like, when she went to Children's, I can still log on to the Children's website, and I did it before, like not long after we stopped going. I requested a CD with all of her medical records on it, but I also had a code, like to your login. You can make appointments, check when your appointment is, all that kind of stuff. It had a button on there where you could download all of their medical charts. So I downloaded and have a file of all of her medical charts from when she was going to Children's. That should give me the last one. That's the thing. I usually wouldn't know a doctor dropped her insurance until we get a new card from the insurance automatically that it changed. Yeah. And that's hard, but you can still then go back to that doctor because you're not seeing them they don't charge you for it. You just go in and be like, our insurance changed our doctors. I need a copy of her medical files. And I also need you to forward a copy to them. I would always ask them to forward their medical to the next base. I say base because that's how it was for us. But the next doctor. And I would also ask for a physical copy so that I could have it all compiled together. I mean, with the military, it was a little different because they're kind of all connected. So they just get on the computer and pull it up. Yeah, it's the same. Every time you move, you just get a new thing. And I know it's like things they don't even tell you about. Like insurances and doctors, they don't tell you that you can do that. A lot of people don't even know they can request their medical files. Yeah, they don't even let people know they can do that. A lot of people think that only the doctor can request your medical files, but they're your files. You can go in and ask for them. And as a legal guardian, you can ask for your children's from their doctors. But I know how it is. They don't want you to know these things. They like to keep us in the dark because it's better that way. Information that never also gets told to parents, I guess, because I'd never even been told that I could have stuff like that shifted around. At most, I usually just ended up asking for copies of her shot records. Yeah, because you think that's all you can ask for. But the doctors, the insurance companies, they don't want you to know you can ask for that stuff. You can go in, you can call in. Most of the time, you can't call in. You can call to find out exactly where in the hospital is. But you go to patient records, and you can ask for that. Like most pediatricians are like an individual office. They're not necessarily in a hospital, so there's not a patient records, but there is somebody within the office that deals with that. So you go up to the front desk and you're like, hey, we had to switch doctors. I need a copy of her medical records. But they don't want you to know any of that. It's best if you don't know, and then they can keep doing whatever they feel like. And I know it's frustrating because, like I said, I know they don't tell anybody, but you can do that. You can just ask for them. I know I got one of those skin for that thing. Yeah, they don't tell you. Woohoo! Fingers crossed that he stays down, Alex, or that he gets up only one time. We're not gonna push too hard, but hopefully one time. Right? Good night. Okay, it doesn't say a specific kind anymore, so let's go with that. Oh, I did it already. Duh. But yeah, they don't tell you any of that stuff. They like it better when you don't know. That way they can keep doing whatever they want, and it's less work for them. They don't have to do anything they don't want to do. And if you don't ask, if you don't know you can ask for that stuff, you too also don't catch things they've done wrong. because you didn't know you could ask for it. Yeah, they don't want to do the clerical work of giving you a file. They want the medical work of examining, treating. Right. They just want, they don't get paid. They only get paid for the patients they see. So they want to see as many patients in a day as they can. They don't want to have to waste time, even like nurses and back office staff that, deal with the insurance billing. They need them doing the insurance billing, not digging up your files and giving you a copy. They don't, a lot of people don't know they can ask for that. But if any doctor you've ever been to, you have the right to go in and ask for a copy of your medical files. You can't, like, some people, they want to tell you, oh, you can only ask them to be forwarded to your next doctor, or your doctor has to request your medical files. They are yours. It is your right to have them. You can go in and ask for a copy. I have done it enough times. And I used to feel weird about it. Like, hey, I know you're busy doing real stuff. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm allowed to have these. Right. Like, they don't care. And then if you don't show up, you get charged a fee for not showing up. But they can show up an hour late and they're like, oh, well, it just, I had something. Yeah, and the ER is kind of hard because they have to wait on other departments. So you come into the ER and you're like, I broke my leg. And they're like, I can see that. We're going to have to get you to x-ray. And then they have to wait till x-ray has time to take you down there. And then you get x-rayed, or you need a blood test. They have to wait until the lab gets to doing your test. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, some of it is a lot that it's not all within their control, because they do have to wait for the lab to run blood tests, and they have to wait for the MRI machine or the x-ray machine. They have priority lists, but it's still like dependent on how many people. And I know with urgent carers, we found this out when Boy Wonder went and hurt his knee. They brought us in, they did all the stuff, and they're like, we're going to take x-rays. And I was like, okay, that's cool. You're in urgent care and you have x-ray capabilities. Like, we don't have to go to the emergency room to get an x-ray. And then I waited all day, and I finally called back. I was like, they're going to close soon. Called back, and they're like, oh, we actually don't have an x-ray tech that can read x-rays. We send them to the hospital. Why didn't you just tell me that? I would have just gone to the hospital. Yeah, but if I'm dehydrated, puking over and over for hours from poisoning. Yeah. I mean, they're like, oh my god, now he's crashing. Now we have to do something. But, like, yeah. Yeah, it is definitely messed up. I mean, when I had this right ovary taken out, we were home on vacation. Doctor up diabetic doses. Yeah. We had to stop on the way home because it hurt so bad. So we pulled off probably, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours from where we lived, and we went to the to the emergency room. They pulled me back. I told them what was happening. I literally vomited in the toilet, like in the trash can while the lady was trying to talk to me. And then they're like, "Oh, you have a urinary tract infection." And I'm like, "I do not have a urinary tract infection. I would be the first person to tell you if I did. I've had enough of them." And they're like, "No, that's what it is." And I'm like, "It's not that." And they're like, "It is." And they just sent me home. They wouldn't do any more. Was it like 2 or 3 days later, we went to the emergency room by our house, and it turned out I had a torsion with my right ovary. It had twisted around itself and was very close to exploding, and then I would have died of sepsis. Like, so I am very familiar with people just like not wanting to do a job, or like assuming it's something when it's not. Like, I'm telling you, it's not a urinary tract infection. I am prone to them. Partly, I have been told by doctors because of my size. Because I am short, that tube that connects everything is very tiny, which means it takes next to nothing for me to get one. And I was like, this, I know what they feel like. This is not that. Right, like, I hate going to the doctor. You're just gonna, brush off what I'm telling you anyway, so. Yeah. I mean, they like it when you don't know you can ask for things, because then they can do whatever they want. You won't know if it's wrong or not. $3, 32, 25. Yeah. Now that I'm out of the military, I don't want to go. I only was. Yeah. I would pester him like crazy. I'm like, listen, I don't care if it's the sniffles. Go to the doctor. I want everything documented, so when we get out, we can get all the dollars. They're not going to brush it off and go, oh, you didn't have that while you were in. It developed after you got out. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I used to tell that because I was a key spouse, which is kind of like you're the person between the spouses and the command chain, right? Like you assist them with things so they're not bugging the command chain over things that somebody else could answer, right? Like, where do I go for this kind of help? Where do I go for that kind of help? With TRICARE, you can do that, but my insurance is way too expensive to be able to go to the doctor unless, right? And while he was active duty, it was very much like, I want everything documented. But yeah, now that we're out, no, we don't go for like every little bump and bruise or every little sniffle even. But so I was like that person in between. And so I would tell people all the time, make sure your significant other who is currently active duty gets everything documented. He fell at basketball and now his knee hurts. Take him to the hospital. But it's nothing. Take him to the hospital. I don't care that it's nothing. Like, I want the best thing you can do for yourself is get every single little thing documented. Because if not, when you get out, they're going to try to screw you. Their whole job is to figure out the least amount of money they can give anybody. Like the VA. They are a great resource, but they're also designed to shortchange you. You have to know what you can ask for. And you have to be able to prove that these things happened. So get every little sniffle, bump, bruise. I don't care. Like, your husband's got 3 bruises and he doesn't know where they came from. Get him checked out. Go to the doctor and be like, I'm bruising for no reason. Can you make sure I don't have leukemia? It sounds stupid, because what are the chances of that? Chances are you just bumped into something in the house or at work. But if it's not documented, then you can't know. Okay, national healthcare has its drawbacks too. We lived in England for 3 years, and I had British friends, and we have Canadian friends. That, well, while national health insurance is a wonderful thing, it has different drawbacks. You wait to see a specialist because there are fewer doctors. Yeah, universal health care. Don't get me started on that. It is literally the least thing they can provide you. Like the doctors within the universal health care, like, pay nothing. I mean, like, they don't, like, they do the least amount possible. Yeah, and a tax penalty for not having insurance. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, the concept of universal healthcare or a national healthcare system is fantastic. The realities are slightly different. If you need any kind of specialist, you're going to be waiting forever to see them. It's hard enough to get into a regular doctor, let alone a specialist. Come on to my insurance as a domestic partner. Just right, because especially in America, they are going to get the most money they can with the least amount of care possible. So the least amount of output, but the most amount of money reward on the back end. And only the people at the tippy top of this program are getting anything. Do you know that the formula for insulin was, like, given away for free because he didn't want anybody to die needing this medication? And it has gone up 300% in cost when nothing has changed with the formula since it was introduced. And nobody had to pay for it. So insurances are profiting off of something they didn't have to pay for to begin with. Don't get me wrong, there is a cost to manufacture it, but that cost is absolutely nowhere near the amount that consumers have to pay or insurances have to pay for it. Do you ever look at it? You have so if you ever go to the hospital and you have a copay or whatever, your insurance pays 20%, you pay the rest. You have the right to ask for an itemized bill where they have to tell you how much the aspirin they gave you cost, how much the Band-Aid they used cost. They have to tell you every little thing, how much it costs. And then there's a website you can go to match it and see if they're overcharging you. And then you can go, hey, I went to this website that I'm allowed to go to and you have to abide by, and I see that it says you're only allowed to charge me $8 for that aspirin and you charged me $20. You need to lower that, because they will try to nickel and dime you any way they can. But you have the right to ask for an itemized bill at the hospital, and then you have a right to double check it. My insurance is getting dropped left and right, except a certain exceptions. I'm scared to even actually try to do an annual visit with my chosen PCP for fear of learning that her office no longer takes it. Yep. TRICARE. Everybody hates TRICARE because it's government insurance at its finest. But on the positive side of TRICARE is that because we have TRICARE, even if they have to pay for me to go to see somebody out of network, I will get seen, and they will pay it. That is the only upside of TRICARE that I really see as like a different insurance. I will be seen, and they will be paying for it. They will try everything in their possible to try to get me somewhere in network where it's cheaper for them and all that. But in the end, if there's nobody, then they will send me to somebody. Because we had this problem while we were still active duty up there in Grand Forks. Every dentist in the area dropped it and wouldn't take TRICARE anymore. So they had to pay for everybody to be seen out of network to see a dentist. It was a big deal. Because at first they were going to make everybody drive like over an hour away to see a dentist. And we're like, we can't take the kids out of school for something like that. Like, it's a dentist visit. And eventually they had to pay for everybody to see a dentist out of network. But nobody likes TRICARE. Everybody tries to avoid TRICARE. Like, doctors don't want to take it. Which we're just seeing on base, and then it doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, I understand that thing, because for anything special, we have to hope that somebody takes TRICARE. In fact, when we first set up like the retired TRICARE for life, whatever they want to call it, we were assigned to one doctor, and by the time I got there and like filled out the paperwork to have the kids transferred to that doctor and then called to make an appointment, they were like, "Oh no, we switched you on base. We're not paying for you to see a doctor off base." So I was like, well, I just gave all my kids' information to that doctor. Thank God for doctor-patient confidentiality. But yeah, going to the doctor sucks. Medical sucks. I honestly think there should be a cap. Like, I get it. Insurances have to make money because how else are they going to pay for people to have procedures and go to the doctor and whatever? But there should be a cap for pharmaceuticals. Like, it costs X dollars to make it, and it costs us X dollars to do the research and development. Steam froze again. I'm back. It has been being twitchy. Twitch has been being twitchy. I think I finally got all the I can get rid of that now. I think there should be a cap. Like I said, like, it costs X amount of dollars in research and development, and it costs X amount of dollars to make it. You take a percentage of that research and development cost and you apply it to each prescription. There are X amount of people, like if it's a very popular drug, taking the drug. This is your cap. You cannot charge any more than this, because after that it's price gouging. I honestly, there should be a cap on how much they should charge for certain drugs, for really all drugs, but the Ozempic, yeah, it's a big weight loss thing. And then, well, they renamed it something else, but it was basically the same thing. So then they had the same amount of output, but now it's labeled as two different drugs. And then they ran out of the diabetic one because they could charge more for it as a weight loss drug. They could charge insurances more, and more people were on it. And then they ran out of the diabetic kind, and then they got very close to running out of the weight loss kind too. But that's why they could market it to more people, and people were paying. Even if they couldn't get their insurance to cover it, they were paying because it's making me lose weight. But is it? Because as soon as you stop taking it, you're going to gain that weight back. Maybe not right away, but it's not going to be gone forever. There was a girl we knew in Virginia. She got on the keto. And I get it. Like, my thing is, the keto diet is not the diet everybody's making it out to be. It is not. When it is a diet plan, a food plan for people who are diabetic. And I'm in ketostasis. Listen, you're gonna lose weight while you eat that way. But as soon as you come off the diet, you're going to eventually gain that weight back, because it's not a diet. It's a way of eating. You have to eat that way forever. And that ketostasis stuff is crap, and it's not even good for your body. We knew a girl, her son was diabetic, and that's the way he should have been eating, but instead, she was doing it as a diet. I just want to lose some weight so I can look better in the dress for the wedding. Okay, but your son should be eating that way all the time. Well, it's hard to do a meal plan for just one person. Okay, so everybody in your house eat that way. Fantasy can't have gluten. Sometimes we do half and half, like have the gluten stuff and the non-gluten stuff. And some stuff, we just only have the gluten-free version. Because I'm lazy and I don't want to buy 3 of the same thing. Like, people jump on these diet bandwagons and they're like, look at all the weight I lost. Yes, but you're going to go back to eating the way you were. Like, unless you're going to change the way you eat permanently, or the way you exercise and eat, or just exercise, you're going to gain it back. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. And it's the same way with the Ozempic drug. As soon as you go off of it, you're eventually going to gain the weight back. Because that is what made you lose the weight, not other things you were doing. Hopefully you get to sleep through the night, and hopefully Joe does too. You have a wonderful evening, and I hope over the next, I hope you all feel better. I got as low as 203, but went back up to 230. I gotta count calories and exercise to keep it off. Right now I'm like 217, 220 at the moment. Yeah, I don't want to talk about how much I weigh, and I know I don't even eat well. But I'm not, like, out here being like, I ate like this. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm pudgy, and I know I eat like shit. But, like, if you're gonna, like, my whole fad diets, like, they're like fucking Stanley cups. There's gonna be another one around the corner. Stanley cups have blood in them. I don't doubt it. It was like, you don't have a Stanley cup. You're not. Oh, you can't afford one? Who the fuck wants to waste $50 on a cup that's gonna, in 6 months, be in the back of the cup cabinet because a new fad cup has come out? Yeah, like, ooh. Yeah, well, I have discontinued Legos, bitch. Maybe. Like, I have discontinued Legos. That's so much better than your Stanley Cup. Take that. Listen, I could buy a Stanley Cup for $50, or I could buy a Lego set. I'm gonna buy the Lego set. Right? Like, I'm not... Yeah, that's what it is. It's the transparency. Was it the crunchy moms get me? And I'm a little bit of a crunchy mom because we try to buy organic stuff and have less preservatives and less food dyes and stuff like that. But I'm not crazy crunchy. There's always got to be like an extreme to everything. I'm not that. Right, like, a lot of it is transparency. Like, You knew people were going to find out. Why didn't you just put it out there to begin with and be like, listen, it's in between the layers. It doesn't touch your drink, and go on about your day. But it's like lying always catches up. Somebody's always going to find out. Just tell people. But if I don't tell them, and apparently there's like the Stanley Cup started right before Christmas, and apparently there's already supposed to be a new It Cup, and nobody wants Stanley's. I think that's what it was. But I mean, that's why lie about it. It's not in the layer that you drank from. Don't worry about it. But like, the thing is, no matter what you say or what you do, there's always going to be like some secret. It's just so stupid. We used to paint with lead-based paint. Still, if you live in a house that was made before the 70s, there's chances there's like lead and asbestos. Just don't eat it. That was a big thing, and I think they really hit the surge after that lady's car caught on fire and it was the only thing left. My thing was, even the paint wasn't peeling on that thing. It seemed very planted. I still am not going to rush out and pay $50 for a cup. I can go to Starbucks and get 2 cups for that price. And I like the Starbucks cups way more than I like that. Okay, Extreme Raiders. What do we got? 50 allies. Woo woo, look at us go today. We are on a roll. Like that scream. Right, like, even if it didn't melt, the paint would have been peeling off, like bubbled up and peeling off. The outside of the cup would have had like blackish to it. It didn't look like, it looked very staged. Vivan! Vivan! Random. Erotukwi and Lubo. I probably butchered that person's name, but both of them, honestly. Hammerman Gladiator skin. Ooh. Nope, we're staying with that one. I did get this. Which, no, 25 kills. Okay. Thank you for the lurk, rabbit. I can upgrade this dude. And this dude. Then I can go to the store. I guess this one. Then this one. Right? They need to be up. They need to get better. Was it level up? Okay, crazy, I guess. Let's do the mystery one. Boop boop. They are mostly level 30 something. Listen, you've got better characters than I do. Let's do a flying rogue. It doesn't say that the more will appear as we go, so it looks like a blob, and then these 9 here, so 10 enemies, I think. Like, seriously, like, even on my like person versus captain, like, I guess personal versus, you know, this, I don't have level 30s. I have like level 10s, and I think my highest one on here is a 20. So the next sets we have to do are some pirate sets, some campground type sets, or I have flowers. What do we want to start next week? What would you like to see? The campground sets are fun holes, so they're lighted, and the pirate ones are 3-in-1 sets from Legos, and then I have like 3 flower-ish sets. Miss Takio made me remember I had to call my doctor's office. Yeah, like, why, like, I hate that when you go to the doctor. Okay, so you make an appointment and you tell them why you have to see it. You get to the front desk to check in, you have to tell them why you want to be seen. The nurse comes and gets you, why are you here? The doctor comes in, why are you here? Like, don't you fuckers know how to talk to each other? Look at you. Select captain. Ooh, goody goody, I'm a select captain. I hate that you have to tell like 7 people why you're there at the doctor's office. Oh, please, child messaged me. I'm not feeling great soon. School. Okay. Right? Then you gotta like take the bill with you and be like, listen, right here shows I paid. That's like anytime I pay a bill, like all the bills that like co-pays and stuff that I had to pay when Boy Wonder was going for the doctor, I kept every single one. That way, in case they were like, oh, you didn't pay for last week's appointment. Yes, I did, right here. I can show it to you. I had them like in a little envelope in my purse and be like, nope, here's last week's. I paid. Nice try. Yeah, I keep it so that way, even if they say, oh, we can't find it, we can't find record of it, I'd be like, well, I have it. You can take a copy of this, but you're the one who gave me the copy that I paid, so I paid. Or like if I pay online, I keep the confirmation of payment and stuff like that. Yeah, like I'm not getting swindled by you. You guys, like it was like, so it didn't seem like a lot. It was like $25 or $35 copay every time we went. But when he had 2 physical therapies a week, that's $70. Yeah, it was like $70 a week in copays for him to go to physical therapy. And he went for like 4 or 6 weeks. And it's like, okay, you guys have gotten a ton of money. I'm not giving you any more. So I kept like every paper they would give me for confirmation of pay. And they would send like an email copy and a physical copy. I kept both. Just in case. And I was like, you guys, it costs too much already. I'm not giving you any extra. So that's why every time they're like, do you need a copy of payment? Yes. And sometimes on the ones where like the x-rays and stuff, so you pay the copay, but you still may wind up owing more because, you know, insurance is only going to cover so much of the x-rays and that. It seems like for those bills to come, it takes forever and a day. You're like, that was 4 months ago. Why am I now just getting a bill? Do you only bill once a quarter? Okay, so tomorrow is the 1st, which means new releases from Lego. I'm really only waiting for one, but I'm not going to place 2 orders. So I pre-ordered the sorting hat because I was afraid it was going to sell out. If that rogue doesn't do his job, I'm going to disown him. You tell him, like, you get with your little guys and be like, listen, I'm going to need you to pull your weight. Yes, I just hate how he's talking to me like I'm stupid, right? Like you don't know anything. He's like, remember, even if you pay, sometimes the insurance adds additional charges later. And I'm like, those are charges from March that I paid for in September. Surely it doesn't take 6 months. Right. You're like, why does it take so long for you to bill? You couldn't have needed the money that bad if you couldn't bill me before then. But yeah, oh, tomorrow's March 1st. So I already in my cart have the Stitch Brickhead, the Groot Brickhead, a set for that Crazy wanted. What was it? Oh, the tulip flowers, because they're on sale for like $7. That's like half price. I think it's those 4 things, and I'm waiting because tomorrow releases like the bigger Stitch set where he's like holding an ice cream cone. So I'm waiting for that one to release, and then I'll just pay once, you know. And because I pre-ordered the talking brick or the sorting hat with the talking brick in it a while ago, so that was already shipped. I'm just waiting for it to come. It's almost your birthday. What are you doing for your birthday? I know I want the Medieval Town Center too, but I already spent hundreds of dollars on pre-orders for the book signing Saturday, and I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars there, so I have to be careful with my spendy. Besides getting drunk, what are you doing for your birthday, Steel? Tomorrow is birthday stream. Saturday is birthday. Rune is taking me out. Sunday is brunch with some girlfriends. Then Disney the weekend after. Then Hamilton the week after that. I always say I celebrate the whole month. I don't really, though. I don't really do anything for my birthday. This past year, we went to like a big cat rescue place. They had a bear and some big cats and some other animals. But there's like a place you can walk through, and then you take like this tram train ride around the outside of the sanctuary, so you can see like, you know, because you know you go to a zoo, right? And there's like the part you can see close to the fence, and then there's always that further back part that you can never really see. And if the animals stay back there, you can't really see them. So this tram took you on like the outside of the sanctuary, so you got to see those further away parts. Yeah, they had like tigers and lions. They had a big bear. They had some other smaller cats. They had all different kinds of stuff. And you could actually, if you wanted, they have like a tree house you can rent and like stay in the tree house and kind of like see over top of some of the cats' pens and stuff like that. Or they have like a camp, you know, they have a couple different things you can stay there the night if you want. We only did like the day, you know, and then drove home. But it was fun. But In the past, we have gone to Disney and it just happens to be on my birthday, or my birthday happens to happen while we're there, but we didn't like go for my birthday. But yeah. What is it? Fantasy will be 15 this year. I need to go. That's going to require lots of dollars. Lots of dollars. Oh, yeah, because she was born in 09. So, yeah, she'll be 15. Spend less on books. Listen. I only do this once or twice a year. And I haven't done it for like the last 3 years. So, I think we should be scared about how much I really spend on Legos a month. I mean, it's not nearly as much as I've spent on this book signing, but I do spend a couple $100 every month on Legos. Or building blocks because we got the fun hole. But it still has jokes. Listen, everybody in this house except Crazy reads a lot. And the kids do go to the library, but they still we still go to the bookstore and they still buy books too. He spends money on Legos and video games. He has more of a backup Lego build than I do. They're like just sitting next to his desk like a dozen sets. See, he's a smart man. Nobody ever accused him of being dim-witted. Ooh, oh. Okay. I got some kind of email from February's nearly over and we want to know which. Oh, okay. Well, he hasn't started, so he can't vote for a teacher. Sorry, I'm not good with waiting, and I have no control over when these people are going to email me or call me, so I'm not very good with that. I want it to be now, or at least want them to give me an answer as to when they will do that. Makes me very nervous. I don't like having no control. Moon that I want a cooler office / room, and he was like, you could have you're so cheap. Listen, these racks I got from the IKEA, they weren't too much. They were actually a really good price. I want to say that it was like $300 for the ones we got. I used to feel bad about spending money on things I want or for myself when I should be spending it on the kids. I should always just be buying only things for the kids. They should have all new clothes, and I bought a $20 sweatshirt, and now I have all this crazy guilt. That has faded. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still there to a certain extent, but it's much less than it used to be. I used to feel bad even buying candy at the grocery store. I'm I could have bought the kids something. Yeah. It's much less than it used to be. Now I'm I love you kids, but you're almost out. There's somebody at my front door. Fetid X. I will be right back, guys. Ooh, my Grove order. it was my cleaning surprise. I think it's a little scary not knowing 100% if we will have it home next year, so I tend to be a little cautious. I also got my ass to a lot of debt once. Yeah, I completely understand that. It was nerve-wracking even buying the house. A little because we kind of bought it sight unseen. So, not completely. Like, of course, we had the pictures on the realtor website. And the realtor came with some friends of Crazy's and, like, walked around the house. And she had her phone on and, like, walking through on, like, a video call. But we didn't really see it in person. And a couple of the houses we liked, the VA wouldn't have approved a loan through the VA. We would have to get a regular loan. And then some got snatched up like right away. Like they were barely on the page a day and somebody had already bought them. And we're like, man, okay, this is it. This is the one we're buying. If we get there and it is absolute shit, there's nothing we can do about it. Like, we're just gonna roll with it. So it was a little scary. And then, like, how much money still you need to, like, as, like, your closing costs and stuff. It was crazy. I will say, have, like, $500 set aside for like, inspections. We just got confirmation from our landlord that they aren't increasing our rent this year, so we can breathe a little easier, and we'll try to buy next year. We're hoping the market will drop a bit. I'm hoping it will too, kind of, because I mean it just sucks. Everything is so expensive. But when you go to buy your house, have at least like $500 set aside for inspections. Like, you want somebody who is going to find everything that could possibly be wrong with your house. Our house, or like the inspection. Our house, we paid $180,000. We technically, the house was listed at $175,000, and we asked if we could pay $180,000 so that they would put that extra $5,000 towards our closing cost. Yeah, and I mean that's still a lot, but depending on we have 2 baths and 3 bedrooms, but we also have our living room, a den, and a sunroom. And then it came with a shed in the back, like a big shed. Yeah, I mean this house was built in the late 70s. Keep that in mind. And right, like, it depends on where you go. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but relatively speaking, it's not, as far as houses go. It is really, like, low cost. Like, there are some new houses being built, or like not terribly far from us, and they're starting at $250,000-$300,000, like, bare minimum. Yeah, so it's low. Keep in mind, it was built in the late 70s, but the sunroom and the den were added on after. And we don't have a garage, we have a carport. But we have a pretty big backyard. And like front and side yard. And we have lots of trees in our yard. So there are definitely things we want to change about the house. But that will come, so we paid what we paid. And then we want to redo the kitchen, because it probably hasn't been redone since the house was made. Yeah. It's crazy how much stuff is, like, how much the price has gone up. And it sounds political, and I guess it kind of is. A lot of that has to do with, like, hedge funds and stuff like that, buying up single family homes, and then renting them out at exorbitant prices. Like, they drove the cost of housing up because nobody could get a house. So you have to be willing to pay more and more and more and more, and that drives it up and up and up and up. I saw a video on this guy I watch. There's 2 or 3 different people I watch because I don't always understand what they're meaning in like some of those bills and stuff. So he breaks it down into understandable terms. The 2 or 3 I watch all kind of do the same thing. They take a bill for whatever state or like going that will affect the whole country, and they break it down into like simple terms. And he was saying there's a bill that's potentially on the docket that would make it so hedge funds could no longer own single family homes. So all those hedge funds that bought up houses to make them Airbnbs or long-term, like short-term, long-term stay. You know what I'm talking about? Like nurses, traveling nurses would stay there and things like that. They would have to sell them all within the next 10 years. And if that passed and they had to sell all those houses in the next 10 years, there would be a flood of available houses on the market. And you can say a house is worth $400,000, but if nobody in the area can afford that house, it's going to come down and down and down until somebody can afford it. So if you have a crazy amount of houses all come on the market at the same time, but they're all expensive and nobody can afford them, they're going to sit there and then they'll come down and they'll come down a little bit more. So it could potentially have the housing market come way down if it passes, but it would be over the course of 10 years. Arkansas cost of living is low. There's only like 4 to 5 big towns, and the rest are state farmland, national parks. Yeah. So if you guys want to commune live, we can all buy this plot of land together and put prefab houses on it, and we can farm and have goats. There was a ton of land for sale when we were buying our house. Had we been in a better financial situation to be able to like pay to have electricity and water and stuff run out to them, we would have done that instead. Yeah. The hedge funds are what did it. They bought single family homes and then turned them into Airbnbs and stuff, so drove the price up. Yep. 40K, 120K used to be an expense, a lot. Now it's astronomical. Yeah, all these hedge funds bought, like I said, it sounds political, and I guess it is a little bit political. There's no way to talk about it without being a little bit political. But a lot of like hedge funds and stuff came in and they swooped up all these low cost housing. Yeah. It is. Right. Like, there's no way to talk about it without kind of being a little political and whatnot. But they came in and they bought all these houses, and then nobody could have, because the art and housing kind of work the same way. Like, what makes it more expensive is its availability. So if there are a lot of houses that have about the same features, same age, all that kind of stuff, they're all worth about the same price. But the less and less you have available, the more and more it costs. Yeah, supply and demand. Well, they came in and they bought up all these single family homes for like dirt cheap, and that meant when people were going to buy houses, there weren't any available. So now you can charge more. Yeah. And if this bill were to pass and they have to sell all those houses, over the next 10 years, there would be a lot of houses flooding the market, which would cause then the cost of houses to go down. It's good and bad. It's great because more people can actually afford to buy a house. It's bad because if you bought a house at the height of that, where it was hard to buy a house, so you had to pay more, your house is potentially going to be worth less. But unless you plan on selling your house relatively soon, it wouldn't really matter in the grand scheme. Yeah. Right, like, you know, we plan, I joked when we were buying the house that we only plan to stay here 6 years because the kids' school is right there. And then when the kids left the nest, like I was going to kick them out the second they turned 18 or the second they graduated, we could move. I mean, realistically, are we going to move in exactly 6 years? No. But as we pay things down, pay things down or off, we will have money to reinvest in the house and like change the kitchen the way we want it and do this or that or the other thing. And then potentially when we sell the house, it'll be worth more. Right? Like, you kids are getting out soon, right? Right? And I mean, the rooms are kind of small. And I told Crazy, I said, if we had bought this house with the plans to never move again, I know what I'd do. Like, they took the, now my brain farted. They took like what was the laundry utility room and made it a bathroom. And so our washer and dryer are stacked on top of each other in like a little alcove in the kitchen. I don't care. Like, if you come to my house and you're like, that's tacky, I'm like, okay, there's the door, leave. Nobody asked you. You don't have to live here. I don't care that it's that way, you know? But if we were never going to move, I would take that bathroom out, make it back into a utility room like it was. And chances are I would, extend our bedroom probably a little bit into, like, take the wall and move it, a little bit, and make our bedroom bigger and Fantasy smaller. Maybe make it a closet. And then move the bathroom back into where Boy Wonder's room is and extend the kitchen back a little bit more. And then he'd be like, it's only a 1 bedroom. I was like, it's a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and I don't care. If we were never going to move, I don't care. But if we're going to sell this and move because he wants to live further out, like buy land, buy a prefab or something and put it on it, then obviously we're not going to make huge changes to the house like that. But if we redid the kitchen, like the cabinetry in the kitchen, if we changed a little bit of this and a little bit of that, like our closet goes further than the doorway, and I don't like it because it's just like one regular door, and then it's hard to get to like what's on this side and what's on this side past the door. So I want to like extend that, the opening for the closet so it's easier to get in, more of the space, and put like barn doors on. Do this, do that. But like, as we change the house or upgrade the house, those things have an effect on your sell price. But unless you're buying a house, immediately fixing it, and immediately putting it back on the market, I feel like you shouldn't always be worried about your resale price. And there's all those podcasts, and they're like, don't do this because it'll affect your resale. Don't do that because it's going to affect your resale. Okay, but I just bought this house. I want to make it mine. I want to make it a place where I want to live before I'm worried about the next person that's going to live in it. So yeah, some things may affect your resale value in a negative way, but you have to want to live there in the meantime. So unless you're buying it, fixing it up, and put it right back on the market, I'm not worrying about the next person. I'm worrying about me because I'm here, not them. This next person is elusive and may not like anything I do. But I have to be happy where I'm living now before I worry about the next person. Sorry, my soapbox moment for today. But like, I don't know. Housing is weird. Like, it's so expensive now, and I look at some houses that I see online, and I'm like, that house is going for $500,000, and it's like a shoebox of a house. It's just because of the area it's in. Okay, time for our last Stream Raiders of the day. Oh, sorry, I clicked on one too far up. I wanted the one below it. Okay, we have 47 peoples. Start battle. Ooh, 10 enemies. Yeah, just the blob and those, whatever sniper things in the middle. Ooh, look at us go. Catacane with 8 assists. This guy apparently got the... Oh no. Beer Bear and Cozy DD each got 1 kill. So we'll do that. We'll give Beer Bear, then Cozy DD, and then Catacane. Clicky the button. You're welcome. The last one of the day I try to give based on like most kills, most assists. The rest I try to do random because sometimes you're just starting out and so your players aren't great and so you're not going to automatic, you know what I mean? If I go based on only the most kills, most assists, they might not ever get anything. So that's why the rest I try to do random, and then the last one I do based on most kills, most assists, things like that. Right? Some people are like, oh, you should just pick. I'm like, you should just let it go. Because I know I don't always have the best. Sometimes I get no kills and like 3 assists. But if you're only picking based on who has the most, and some people will do like one battle, they pick the most, and then the next battle they pick the least. But then the people in the middle are kind of left too. So I figure if I do one, and then the rest random, it gives everybody like a fair shot. And this way also, people are like, oh, you're choosing your friends. No, I'm not doing anything. Okay, none in there. Not enough sushi. Oh, I can buy some scrolls though. I guess I'll do you. Wrong one. Listen, apparently my mouse, I can't get in the right position today. Sorry, I keep checking to see that stupid email because I'm obsessive compulsive and I can't help myself. So, do we have any preferences on which Legos we start next week? Campground, Flowers, or Pirates? Because, tomorrow's Friday. By the time I buy that, it may not get the other stuff I plan to order tomorrow probably won't come till like mid next week. Yeah, Pirates, because I have this. So I'll grab one of them, and you can see both items on the back. Because it's a 3-in-1 set, so I just have 2 of the set. So I can build 2 different things. So this is what I have. Let's see if I can do this better. There we go. So I have one and I plan to make the pirate ship. And then this of course that's the one you can't see. This tavern. I don't plan to make the Skull Island. So I have 2. They're the exact same box. So I just plan to make this and this. Where we have the 2 fun hole sets which will be lit and they're like campground area and a cabin and they go together, and then I have the flowers because then maybe I'll start my retro driver. There you go. You can do a Lego stream instead of exercising, or you can exercise half your stream and Lego the second half, or make it really challenging. Try to put the Legos together as you're pedaling as fast as your little legs can go. Listen, I say the little legs isn't a derogatory thing. It doesn't matter how tall or short. I'm always like, kick your little legs as fast as you can. Pedal your little legs as fast as you can. Right? Could you imagine that? You're like huffing and puffing and like dying because you can't breathe and you're tired and you're like, I can't get this Lego to go. The instinct to stop pedaling would be so strong. But yes, so then I'll have, so we'll do pirates starting next week. And I can put them next to each other on my shelves. Sometime next month, or maybe in April, is when we'll go to IKEA again and get the rest of the shelving, because I think we really only need one more set. Maybe two more. For this side of the room. Because on this side we have it up. I don't want to say into the corner because we just did it to the two pieces met. So there is like a space in the corner where there's nothing. But up to where they meet and then across. And so we have a little bit of room left on this side and then a little bit down the wall. So we'll get 1, 2 more, whatever. And then we'll put those in the corner over there. And then I'll have more shelving to put more stuff. Because it's never ending. And after Saturday, I'll have to move some of my Legos that are on the bookshelf so that I can put actual books on the bookshelf. So that'll be fun. I'll have to find a place to put them. But let's see. Let's see who is on that we may raid into. Oh, there's not many people on today that I know. So that's typey. Let's typey in Lego. I know some people are like, oh my god, you called me little. No, listen, I call everybody like pedal your little legs. Kick those little legs. Like, it doesn't matter how tall you are. I'm not even 5 foot. And Crazy is like a whole foot taller than me. And he'll be swimming and I'll be like, kick those little leggies. Everything, you know. It's always little leggies. Okay. I typed in Lego to see. I guess I should have put in brick building. Those are past videos. Let's just try Makers and Crafters then. Or Makers and Crafting. Still, you said you're gonna work on my redeem today. Today's just a redeem day. If you're still on, you might have already went lurky. Okay. Well, have fun getting your nails done. Getting them all fancy done for your birthday. If anybody has a suggestion for a raid, that's fine too. There's not a lot of people on, like, that are in my, like, that I follow or whatever. And I'm not very good at hunting for people. Okay, that guy looks like he's got brick building going, but he also looks like it's in another language, so that may not work for us. You look like you're in another language. In fact, I know it is because it says Deutsch. That's German. Okay, I'm running into a lot of non-English ones right now on the live thingy. Okay, Queen V Crafty. Let me type that in. I was like, I'm trying to look, but these people aren't speaking English. Okay, make sure there's no sound so I don't accidentally, do this correctly. Yes. If my fingers will work. Okay, that looks right. Okay, so I'll go to stream ending. So Sunday, we will play the video games. I don't know what video games. Maybe a little bit of, I don't know. But we will play the games on Sunday. And then Tuesday, we will start on the piratey goodness. And then Thursday is more piratey goodness, because I don't think anybody can redeem the diamond dot thing again. Nope, it's on a cooldown for 2 more days. So I guess by Sunday, somebody will be able to redeem it again. But next week, piratey goodness. Then I think I'll still be here. Yes. But, okay, so the kids start spring break on the 15th. So I won't be on the, I'll be on the 14th, which is the day before, but I won't be on the Sunday or the Tuesday, the 17th and the 19th, because we won't be in town. So 2 more weeks until we take vacation. Yeah. 1. Yes, that's right. 2 weeks. But then I'll be back that Thursday, so 3 weeks from now. So I'm only missing 2 streams.